On December 25th, 2025, while much of Earth was wrapped in lights, prayers, and quiet celebrations, something far beyond human attention began to unfold. The sky itself started to change. Auroras, normally confined to the far polar regions, poured southward in luminous waves, igniting skies where they hadn't been seen in decades. Satellites began reporting anomalies. Power grids groaned under invisible pressure as Earth's magnetic shield strained against an onslaught it hadn't expected. And above it all, moving silently through the stars, a brilliant emerald-green object burned its path across the constellation Leo. Its name was 3IATLAS, an interstellar visitor. It had come from another star system, traveling faster and stranger than anything native to our sun. But on Christmas Day, Atlas was no longer just passing through. It was changing, brightening, transforming, announcing itself in a way that demanded attention. The green glow was unmistakable. Astronomers knew it immediately: diatomic carbon, a rare, volatile emission that only appears when a comet is shedding material at an extreme rate. Atlas was no longer quiet. It was violently active, tearing itself apart as solar radiation stripped gas and dust from its surface. Even amateur astronomers could see it now, a glowing green beacon against the winter sky. Excitement surged. So did unease. Because, as Atlas brightened, Earth below was entering one of the longest geomagnetic storms in modern history. Auroras flared. GPS systems degraded, satellites slipped into safe mode as charged particles flooded near-Earth space. At first, the explanation was simple: the sun was acting up, but the timing refused to cooperate. The storm intensified precisely when Atlas erupted, each violent outburst of gas and dust coinciding with a surge in geomagnetic disturbance. The alignment was too precise, too persistent to ignore. One sun, one comet, one planet caught in between. That's when an old, radical idea resurfaced, one that had always lingered at the edge of astrophysics but had never before found its moment. What if Atlas wasn't just being carried by the solar wind? What if it was feeding it? 3I. Atlas is not on a gentle, looping orbit like ordinary comets. Its path is extreme, hyperbolic, with an eccentricity near 6.1. It is not bound to our sun. It is passing through at tremendous speed, tearing through the heliosphere like a bullet through mist. And as it does, it isn't passive. It is dumping enormous quantities of ionized gas and electrically charged dust directly into the solar wind. Violently. The hypothesis that followed became known as the solar amplifier theory. The idea is deceptively simple. The material injected by Atlas alters the electrical conductivity of the solar wind itself, allowing solar storms to couple far more efficiently with Earth's magnetosphere. The comet didn't create the storm. It amplified it. A physical interaction, a real exchange between matter from another star system, our sun, and Earth's magnetic shield. A cosmic handshake. Skepticism would have ended the discussion, if not for one detail that refused to go away. Spectral analysis of the solar wind impacting Earth revealed traces of diatomic carbon, the same molecular signature glowing green in Atlas. Material that did not originate here. For the first time in human history, scientists could plausibly argue that we were not just observing an interstellar object, we were interacting with it. As telescopes focused more closely on Atlas, its true nature began to emerge, and it was anything but simple. Estimates of its nucleus varied wildly, from a few hundred meters to several kilometers across. The reason was clear. The object was buried inside a dense, violent shroud of gas, masking its true size. Light-curve data painted an even stranger picture. Atlas appeared elongated, possibly even a contact binary. Two ancient bodies fused together after a collision long before the sun existed. Its rotation period, roughly 15.5 hours, should have produced a smooth, predictable brightness pattern. Instead, the signal was chaotic. Jets of gas wobbled and drifted, their directions precessed unpredictably. The comet behaved like something wounded, structurally compromised, internally fractured, barely holding together as it screamed through our solar system. A rubble pile from another star, scarred, unstable, active. And on Christmas Day, as Earth's skies turned green and space itself seemed to lean closer, humanity may have unknowingly experienced its first true physical contact with material from beyond our sun. Not a message, not a signal, but a touch. The silence of the universe was never empty. Sometimes it reaches out quietly, and the only warning is when the sky begins to glow. As scientists traced Atlas backward along its impossible trajectory, a darker picture began to form. This object was not born gently. 3IATLAS appears to be a survivor of violence on a galactic scale. Researchers believe it may have been torn from its home system during a close stellar flyby, or even flung outward by the chaos of an ancient galactic merger. In those rare but catastrophic events, entire clouds of comets are ripped from their stars and hurled into interstellar space, condemned to wander the galaxy for billions of years. Atlas is not young. It is ancient, a scarred relic, shaped by forces that existed long before Earth, carrying within it the memory of a catastrophe from another corner of the Milky Way. And now, after an unfathomable journey through the cold dark between stars, it may not survive its brief encounter with ours. As Atlas sheds gas and dust, it experiences a subtle but relentless force known as the Yorp effect, a torque caused by uneven outgassing. Each jet of escaping material acts like a tiny thruster, slowly altering the comet's rotation. Over time, that spin accelerates, faster and faster. For an object held together by weak gravity and riddled with internal fractures, this is dangerous. There is a real and growing possibility that Atlas could spin itself apart, not in the distant future, but soon. For the first time in history, humanity may witness the real-time disintegration of an interstellar object as it dies under an alien sun. As its behavior grew more erratic, speculation erupted across the internet. Observers noticed subtle changes in motion, apparent accelerations, shifts that looked at a glance almost intentional. The questions spread like wildfire. Was it changing course? Was it being guided? Was this a probe? The debate reached a fever pitch, forcing science to respond decisively. The Breakthrough Listen Initiative and SETI aimed their most sensitive instruments at 3IATLAS, scanning across radio frequencies, optical bands, and laser emissions, searching for any hint of artificial modulation. They found nothing, no signals, no patterns, no intelligence. The strange motion had a mundane explanation. The rocket effect, natural, asymmetric outgassing acting like microscopic engines. Complex, yes. Unusual, absolutely. But artificial, no. The verdict was clear. 3IATLAS is natural, violent, chaotic, and entirely real. Yet it still has one final act to perform. In early 2026, Atlas will pass close to Jupiter. The gas giant's immense gravity will seize the comet, bending its trajectory in a dramatic gravitational slingshot. This encounter will be the ultimate confirmation of its interstellar origin, because once Jupiter is done with it, Atlas will not remain. It will be flung outward, away from the sun, away from Earth, back into the dark ocean between stars. We will never see it again. And yet, its passing revealed something far larger than itself. 3IATLAS is no longer an anomaly. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory is already tracking dozens of interstellar candidates, more than 50 and counting. Objects once thought impossibly rare are now being detected routinely. Our solar system is not sealed. It is porous. a crossroads through which material from across the galaxy quietly drifts, and this realization reflects something deeper, not about extraterrestrials, but about humanity itself. We now possess the tools to see interstellar objects, to analyze alien chemistry, to watch real cosmic interactions unfold in real time. This was not a moment of contact, it was a moment of capability. 3IATLAS was not a message, not a warning, not a visitor with intent. It was proof that star systems are not isolated, that matter flows freely across the Milky Way, that Earth is embedded in a living, dynamic galaxy. A small object from another star system brushed past our sun, and the effects were felt on Earth. That is the cosmic handshake, not between minds, but between systems. A reminder that we are not standing still in space. We are drifting through history, through debris, through the aftermath of ancient catastrophes written in stone and ice. And now, for the first time in human history, we can see it happening.